7 little roosters, one liked to draw dicks. Life imitated art, and then there were 6. If you're not analyzing the riddle, you might have thought that Barbara was the one who was going to get killed. Anyone who's familiar with Barbara knows she loves to draw dicks. You don't even have to research that. It's shown in the first episode. But this portion of the riddle is tricky right out of the gate because both stanzas have nothing to do with one another. One liked to draw dicks, well that's Barbara. But the one we're concerned with is life imitated art. That is the one who is going to die. Life imitating art means that events from the real world were inspired by creative work. So what we have to do is take the roosters who apply to the characters off screen and then see how they died. Well, you have Ryan and Lindsay from Achievement Hunter who have died in a million different ways with everything they've done with all the games that they've played. Bernie, who has a character who has died in Red vs. Blue, and Miles, who is literally dressed as Ruby, thus literally life imitating art. However, similar to before, there is a red herring. Miles is almost too conveniently fitting into the riddle. The literal imitation of Ruby Rose and Ruby Scythe being a possible murder weapon. However, just like last episode, Ruby never died in the show, so it makes it a little difficult to assume that this is Miles. As for Lindsay and Ryan, the amount of games and Let's Plays the two have died in is much too large to pick from without any sort of lead to which it may be. So with such a large list and no sort of hint to a specific character, Ryan and Lindsay must be ruled out. And finally we are left with Bernie. Church's death was a major plot point in Red vs. Blue, and not only was it important, but Ryan and Bernie were also talking about his death in the previous episode. So with Miles being a little too convenient for the riddle, and Lindsay and Ryan's large death list behind them, logically speaking we are only left with Bernie to be killed. But by what? We have 3 possible weapons of murder. When Adam is talking to Lindsay, he mentions a few items that were stolen from him. These include a griff ball and a computer mouse, which are 2 possible murder weapons from the list. In the previous episode, we learned that a few poisonous animals from Joel's office had escaped, including a scorpion. Most fans of Halo know that the UNSC tanks are also known as scorpions. Bernie's character, Church, was killed by Joel's character, Caboose, while in a scorpion. So once again, Bernie is going to be killed by Joel's scorpion. And thus, life imitates art once again. 7 little roosters, Church's life has thus sank. You can lie Bernie to rest, along with Drunk Tank.